Hey guys, how's it going? How are you? I hope you're having a wonderful day. I have something very, very intense and pretty rad in store for you. I am going to show you how I achieve a black smoky eye. I have a couple of tips that I feel like just made this so much easier for me. Disclaimer, like I had to restart this because the way I started out doing it was not easy and not helpful at all. So I just took my micellar water, I wiped it all away, and I tried again, and this was so much easier. And honestly, I think it turned out way prettier anyways. Let's just get started, and if you're interested in seeing how I got this intensity, please keep watching. I'm gonna prime my eyes using some concealer from Maybelline. This is the Instant Age Rewind. So I'm going to just take this fun little sponge, and I'm going to place this all over my lid space. So from lash line all the way up until my brow bone. Then I'm taking my damp sponge, this is a beauty blender, and I'm basically just pressing this in place everywhere. I just want to clean up my lid space and just cancel out my veins and any discoloration, and also just give everything, you know, something to stick to. Then I'm going to take my Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder in the shade Translucent Light. And I'm going to set the lid space. I'm going to jump in and go in with this shade called Loungy. I'm taking a nice fluffy brush because I want to just buff that into the crease. We want to have that nice transition shade to help gradate everything that we're going to have going on. I'm buffing this all over the crease very generously, focusing in here mostly, and then kind of making sure that it's just softened on any edge that we have. But I'm being very generous because that shade is really important to just make sure that the black sits really nicely on your lid. Then I'm going to take a different type of brush. This is more of like a precise crease brush. It's not quite as fluffy, and it's a little bit more flat and tapered. So this will help to get that crease a little lower and a little bit more precise. And we're going to take a medium color. This is in Wanderlust. So we're going to keep lower now. I'm going to stick to that crease because the black is going to gradate into this shade a lot. And so then I'm just going to soften out that edge just a smidgen more. But these eyeshadows are really, really easy to work with, I find, so it really doesn't take long to get them to where you want them. I love this combination of these two shades. I think they're gorgeous. It's just that kind of nice terracotta look. Now I created two other looks on my channel with using just really focusing on these two shades. One is all just these two shades, and I love it so much. So I will link that up right here for you. When I have no more shadow left on my brush really, I just take the very tip of it, and I am just trying to soften out that edge without really dragging the color any further. Okay, deep breath. Taking the star of the show, we are going to take Finders Keepers, which is such a cool black eyeshadow. It's one of my first black eyeshadows, I'll be honest. It's something I don't use very often, but I was so impressed with how insanely pigmented this swatched. And honestly, sparkle and metallic will always speak to me. So when this was like a combination of all those, I was like, okay, this is meant to be. Okay, so we're just gonna take this in 2 steps to make this just easier for ourselves. So we're gonna take this small detailer brush from Real Techniques, the detailer brush. It's basically kind of like a little concealer brush. It is flat. It has that same kind of shape as you use for when you pack eyeshadow onto the lid. Ugh, I'm like tongue-tied. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this little brush and we're gonna just gently place that black in here to gradate it into the crease first. Second, we will then pack it onto the lid so that we already have it blended out and buffed into the crease, which is the tricky part. So we'll just gently do that and then pack it onto the lid so we won't be so stressed. So I packed some onto my brush, and I tapped it off, like I went like this, just tapped it off so we don't have too much. And then we're just gonna slowly press that along that crease line. So basically, like when you're looking straight ahead, it's right there. We wanna stay low, and we're just gonna, you know, like, like where your eyeball rolls off literally into your skull, that's where we kind of want to stop things. So that is where I am placing this and making sure that it will be nice and blended in to that medium shade, that Wanderlust shade. Then I'm going to flip the brush upwards so that the side that I put the eyeshadow on is facing upwards, so I can kind of get up into the crease now. And one of the keys with making a black smoky eye is that you want to keep the black low on the eye. So if you have a smaller eye, then you just have less to do, really. I'm going to go back to that Smith brush. That is that kind of like mid-range blender brush. And I'm going to go over what I've placed and just further soften that out. The good thing about a black smoky eye is that other than obviously it being an intense look, you can get away with it being really imperfect because it can often lean towards that like edge and grunge. And so like for example in here, that won't look so bad, especially once I have the black packed onto the lid and have some lashes. Like leaving it imperfect actually suits a black smoky eye, if that makes sense. I'm putting a teeny tiny bit on the edge, on the very, very tip of this brush, just to get that outer corner. And I mean a tiny bit. Sorry, I was sitting back so far, you guys. You can see how that middle shade really helps to just diffuse the black in that crease. Because like I said, that's the tricky part. So now that we've got that down, the battle is almost won. I'm going to use a base shadow brush. This is from MAC. This is the 242. This type of flat dome shaped brush is meant to pack on a color onto your lid. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Just going to pack it into the brush, tap off like any fallout, and then we are going to just place that all over the lid. We are going to start by really wiggling that into our lash line. That's where we want it to be the absolute darkest. See, already I'm like not nearly as stressed trying to get this on because my crease line is already like, you know what I mean? Like it's already blended out. We already did the hard part. So again, keeping it tight in here, not going further than just my very, very edge of the lid. Just barely, lightly feathering it into that blending we already did. So then I take a step back and I kind of tilt my head back and I just look at my lid space really well like that. Like see here, this one. I don't like how it looks there, so I'm just going to blend out that edge a little bit more. I mean, it's not bad, you guys. It's just, you know, just take a second. Last thing I'm going to do is keep holding this brush in your hand and I'm going to take some setting spray, which is MAC Fix Plus. I'm going to spray my brush. Okay, so I went in again with the Fix Plus because it just wasn't wet enough. Oh my gosh, now it might be too wet. Okay, now we're going to go over this. Oh my gosh. Shoot, that's not what I want. It's too wet. And I tried this earlier and I sprayed it a little bit. It grabbed all the glitter really, really well. Shoot. Oh, I don't want to like ruin all the work we did for that lid space by wetting it. So I'm going to go in as quick as I can and just soften those edges. Learn from me, folks. Learn from me. Like racing to soften these edges. Nix that. Forget that step. That's funny. It turned out so different than when I first tried that. Woo! Panic attack. Hopefully this time it'll work to get the glitter. You can see it a little bit. I'm going to take my ring finger. I'm going to swirl it onto this eyeshadow, especially where it's dry, because there is a spot of like where I dipped in the wet brush. And I'm going to just place that on. There we go. Okay. That's what I needed to do. So just pressing that into place. Now we have the glitter. I'm going to take this brush and one last time just soften that out. I'm going to go back into Wanderlust here. Then I'm going to add some just in that crease, just like right on top of that black. Just kind of bring that down a notch. So I'm just going to do a lick of mascara, and then I'm actually going to do some basic everyday drugstore eyelashes, because quite frankly, you're not really going to be able to see your lashes with having such a dark background. So I'm just going to use the Ardell Wispies. I'm going to glue these on first and then add a lick of mascara to blend my lashes up into the falsies and add just that depth at the lash line. Just really make sure every part of that band is glued on there real nice. Let's zoom out. Okay, I'm going to wipe off any of this. Oh yeah. I just ran upstairs and I grabbed the Kirkland face wipes, and I am going to take my fingertip, oops, and I'm going to lightly drag that up from my lower lash line. See how I just kind of carry past from there? So don't go higher. It's better to do lower than too much. Okay. Fun, huh? I'm gonna go in with some face cream because it basically got wiped out a lot. So this is the Belif, the True Cream Aqua Bomb. I'm just gonna do a bit all over the face. What I will do to give my face cream just a minute to set is I will do my upper lash line mascara. I'm gonna use my Marc Velvet Noir. So let's do our face as fast as we can so that we can get those under eyes done and just be out the door and go party or something. I mean, really just grocery shop, right? I'm going to try something new today, which I'm a little nervous about because I hope it goes so well. So I'm going to use a drugstore foundation. You're welcome. Normally I would use my favorite Makeup Forever HD foundation stick, but I really would like to have something that's drugstore that I love. This is called the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. This is radiant 24-hour wear, medium coverage, and the texture is air light. Those are the claims. We will be the judges of that. This is in the shade 202 or Creamy Natural. I'm going to use my Makeup Forever paddle brush. This is the 108. So I'm going to dip into the foundation from my hand, and I'm going to just paint it, oopsies, paint it on to my face. I'm shocked because I never like drugstore foundations. This is like blurring over like a gel. I really like this initial application. Oh, fetch. I just dug into the blue eyeshadow. Dang it. Look at, ugh. I think I'm going to go with my Tarte Shape Tape because this is like just that really high coverage concealer. And I definitely, that is like really important for this look. You want a lot of coverage for the under eyes. At least I do. Because I have dark circles and I don't want them to conflict with this really deep smoky eye. I'm going to set my under eyes with my Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder to keep that stuff in place. Okay, so going in with a small bullet brush, this is the Morphe E18. I'm going to go in first with, what's it called again? Loungy. And I'm going to put that one pretty generously, like let it go pretty low. We're just gonna mimic what we did on the top. This is the easy part, you guys. And then so using its little sister, it's just skinnier and more pointy. This is the Morphe E36, and then I'm gonna go into Wanderlust. And then I'm just gonna go a little less buffed with this one, but I still want that depth to match the top of our eyes. And I'm gonna go in with this tiny little accent brush from Real Techniques. I'm gonna dip into the black. What's it called again? It's called Finders Keepers. I'm curious why she called it that. I know she has a reason for all of her names. I know Wanderlust, she talked about something about like whenever she travels, this is a shade that she sees everywhere, like in the terracotta tiles and things like that. And I just thought that was so neat. I love hearing the stories behind people's makeup and their creations and stuff. It needs so little, very, very little. And I'm just trying to stick to the lash line here. I'm just wiggling that in place. Okay. I'm gonna go in back with this E36 and I'm just going to soften that. So I'm just letting that really fine tip just wiggle in. You know what? And I even forgot to zoom in. Ugh. How much, like how nice that is, like once you've kind of like wiggled that in. The last step I'm going to take is I'm going to use a black eyeliner and I'm going to tightline just the the upper waterline. Because we have so much black going on, we want to make sure we don't have like a random flesh colored waterline poking through. See? Hopefully you can tell. So I have lots of colors of eyeliners that I love to use, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play off of the warm tones that we have in our crease line here, and I'm going to use this drugstore product. It's a Maybelline Lasting Drama Waterproof Gel Pencil in the shade Striking Copper, because I really like how this looks in the waterline, and I think it's just a really fun twist to a black smoky eye. So I'm going to take a clean finger, I'm going to wipe this area, this lower lash line. So there's gonna most likely be some black eyeshadow there and stuff. And I'm just going to place that in there. Hindsight, I should have done this before the mascara because this usually gets on the roots of the mascara, but it ain't no big deal. See, especially when the light hits it, I love a metallic eyeliner in the waterline. It's so cool. Oh, we finally get to put color on our face, but we did it, we got through the eyes. So I'm gonna use my Bobbi Brown bronzer in the shade medium with a nice big fluffy brush. And I'm gonna start adding color. Oh my gosh, this foundation looks so good. I mean, I know I haven't been wearing it for very long at all, but I love how it went on like a gel type formula, which I'm a fan of because I feel like any gel products I use just work so well. Ah, isn't that so much nicer? Ooh. I'm just gonna go in with a tiny bit of my Cover FX bronzer in the shade Suntan with a smaller version of the big fluffy one I just used from Bare Minerals. I'm just gonna do a little bit right here. Just in the hollows, just a bit. Just to add that dimension, a little bit of sharpness. We're gonna stick to a really neutral blush. We're gonna use Melba from MAC. I just can't not do blush. I always have to do something. I love putting product on my cheeks. I'm gonna use my Maybelline Master Chrome in the shade Molten Gold. It is muy delicioso. So I'm just going to apply that very generously all over my face. I don't want to go too nuts, but some glow would be nice. It's funny, my nose looks nice and glowy. Whoa. See? Just adds that further light. Ugh, I love that copper on the lid. So I'm going to continue up onto that brow bone. Just extend it past the eyebrows. Last but not least, we're going to add a little bit of a lip. I'm going to use yet another drugstore product. This is the LA Girl Ultimate Lip Liner, Intense Stay Auto Liner. Again, so many words. This is in Non-Stop Nude. I'm just gradating it into the corners and stuff. Okay. I'm going to use my favorite lip gloss. This is Buxom. This is their lip polish. Yeah, full on lip. Sorry, I always say it wrong. Full on lip cream. These are the ones that plump and tingle and are kind of have that peppermint kind of taste a little bit. Did I say this is in White Russian? It's just that subtle nude. I like it a lot. This is my third bottle, I think. You know what I forgot to do? Oh, I almost forgot. My inner corner highlight. Whoa. Okay, here is the final look, you guys. What do you think? I would love to hear your thoughts down below because I know this is probably not for everyone, but I think it's so cool. It is intense, it's sultry, it is a statement, and I love that about makeup, that you can just speak like an emotion, a story, whatever it is that you're thinking or feeling, you can convey that with color. And I love that. I will never tire of that. So I think this is really, really neat. And I hope you were able to follow along well and that the little tips about doing the black work well for you too. I personally adore all the products I used today, and I hope you can go out and use them too. So yeah, I hope you like it, and I will see you next time. Take care.